Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Jimmy. This channel is about investment opportunity and helping you to grow your money. Today's topic is about Metaverse. Now, if you're hearing Metaverse for the first time, this video is going to tell you what is Metaverse, why it is a hot topic, and why it may become a mainstream, and finally, what are the things that you can look for in order to invest and grow your money. Alright, so to begin with, what is Metaverse? To most people, it is a word, but then if I would say that Metaverse is about virtual world, I think a lot of people will sort of like understand what it is. So for example, when you are playing a game, for gamers, you play MMORPG, role-playing games, you are actually playing in the game with a character, with an ID, right? So Metaverse is about you physically appear to be in the virtual world, wearing a VR goggle and to be able to live within that virtual world. So that's basically, in short, what is Metaverse, in a very broad definitions. Now, someone may ask, well, this is not new. In about 10 or 20 years ago, there's a program or there's a game called Second Life, or even in today's context, some of the role-playing game, MMORPG, is exactly what it is. Yes, that's correct. In terms of the metaverse or virtual world, it is exactly what it is. The only difference is that when we go to metaverse, you are basically live within that virtual world, and you can do anything you want with your own ID, and there is more to that, right? So in all, this is a very broad definition of what's metaverse. Now, go into why it is a hot topic in today's world. Now, because what the world has become is that there will be two things that we will live together. One is the real world, and the other one is a virtual world. We have more or less sort of like developed, whatever we have, and then going into what we call a virtual, especially during this pandemic, when we communicate through various technologies, or in fact we do things through digital means, right? So this metaverse basically is solving a real world problems using a virtual world. Now, any company who basically be in the leading edge, into this technology, then obviously they are going to have a very, very big advantage. And as of such, Facebook has actually announced 2 months ago that they are going to spend a lot of money, to invest in this metaverse, similar to Google, Tencent, and some of these big companies. They are racing towards these directions. And that's why people are talking about it, because they are using, as I said earlier on, they are using the virtual world to solve real world problems, all right? So why do I say that it is a mainstream and it's possible a mainstream? Now, if you recall something like 20 or 25 years ago when people talk about a concept of internet, at that point of time, people are just saying that, okay, internet is just when you type in some keywords and that will actually allow you to find something. And that's more like a telephone directory or a dictionary, that sort of nature. But you look at how internet has actually progressed, 25, 20 years ago to where we are today, it is definitely, much more than what we are doing here. So in terms of metaverse is the same thing, right? So today, our definition with our thinking that it is more like a gaming, when you create a characters, you go into a virtual world, and then you start to do a lot of things. But then, again, if we would have to make ourselves, to let our creativity to extend a little bit, then you will start to see that maybe they are more towards this the virtual world, I would say, the virtual world. Now, we are talking about having metaverse to yield productivities such as telecommunications, teletransport, telemedicine, things that cannot be done in the real world, but can be solved using a virtual, using a virtual world. And that basically helps to improve productivities, increase productivities, by using the technology itself. But I think the more important thing is about individual. Because when you go out there and create an ID in the virtual world, you can be anything, right? You can be musicians, you can be an artist, you can be a yoga trainers, you can be a Superman, you can be, a character, a hero characters that you really love to be one, and that basically fulfill what we call individual dreams or passions, things that you cannot achieve in the real life itself. Now, with that, that basically opens up a huge opportunity, a huge business opportunity for big companies like, Facebook, Tencent, Google, and all these companies itself. Why is that so? It's because these companies, they have such a huge amount of data, and they can actually use these data to build the world that what we would love to live in, right? In the virtual world. So there is a lot of this, what we call a commercial opportunity in there. And we are not just only talking about games, but we are talking about a lot of very customized, down deep in your heart desire, in the virtual world itself. And this is going to be very, very big because this is huge, right? You're thinking about having to achieve something that you won't be able to achieve in life. So, for example, for me, I would love to have be able to travel around the world, living in a big house, having to enjoy myself by the seaside. And if I can't do it in my real life, then obviously the virtual world, the metaverse, may be a solution for me. So that is, even myself talking about it right now, that is really, really exciting. Even, I talk about it. So that's where it comes from. Now, with this going forward, more importantly for now, what can we do, in order to embrace this metaverse? I think the first most important thing is the last point, what to invest. Metaverse will require all sort of technologies to make this happen. Number one thing is most obvious is the AI and graphic. And that one, you will go into the company called Nvidia. This is a company will play a very important role in metaverse space. Number two, kind of a sector that we should be watching for is the VR goggle, the VR, AR kind of a goggle, and the hardware companies that go into building these headsets. Number three is the blockchain. Now, why do I say blockchain? We are not only talking about the virtual currency, the cryptocurrencies, but we are talking about NFT. We are talking about decentralized. So all the technology that we have today for crypto will be further enhanced and applied into this metaverse. And it becomes a very important part of the whole entire ecosystems. Okay, so this is a very short and simple explanations of what is a metaverse. I hope you all benefit and learn something out of this. If you like this video, please give me a like, follow my channels, and I shall see you next time. Thank you. By the way, if you want to see how to live in a real world in parallel with a virtual world, watch the movie Ready Player One. After watching that movie, you will understand how the metaverse works. Cheers.